Good guys, so today I'm talking about the 10 things that will make you sell your Fox body. These are some of the most fun cars to ever have, but then every car has its problem, and the Fox body has a lot of problems. Anyway, we are about to jump into this video because we got not one but 10 things to cover. All right, number one, we got to be under the hood for this one, but the aprons can accumulate rust behind the battery. All right, so I don't know how good y'all can see this, but behind the aprons, for some reason, they like the rust. I'm gonna take it out just to show you and give you a demonstration. All right, so look down here where this tray bolts up at. I mean, these cars love to rust back there. And I mean, it's still pretty solid right here. This stuff can definitely spread, but if you're buying like Scott rod panels to cover this up, or redoing under the hood, then you'll be fine. Number two, so if you've ever had a problem with the battery being drawn down or going dead all the time, you always having to recharge your battery, this is where I would look. Probably would look right here at the sun visor. So on this car, I don't have that hard piece of cardboard or whatever you call it anymore, so it can no longer hold that button in, which could cause this battery to be drawn down. And I know these bulbs aren't on, but it could still be drawing power. Number three, this is a terrible spot for something like this to happen, but right here, I welded this a few years ago. I know this is the most terrible weld you've ever seen, but I didn't know nothing about welding back then. But the floors can crack right here on this side or passenger side. It's probably more than likely going to be on the passenger side because you're always over here. Number four, and this honestly is gonna go without saying, so I'm gonna try not to explain because this is probably on almost every Fox body. Need I say more? 5. All right, so if you own a Fox body, my bad, the motorcycle sounded good. Anyway, if you own a Fox body, you probably don't have working door locks unless you've replaced them or unless this car was like garage kept its whole life. There's one or two reasons it doesn't work. Is the first one is obvious, is that the door actuator doesn't work or the harness fell out. So I'll actuate mine. Such a dummy, I took the battery out and forgot. In order to fix that, just buy some new actuators, and if that doesn't work, just check the power. 6. All right, I'm not gonna be in the camera, but I'm gonna let the hood down and then get a close-up so that I can show you what the problem is. All right, so this is a problem on a lot of Fox bodies, especially if you use it to travel a lot, going up and down the road, following behind big trucks and what have you. There's also a little bit on my brother's car, but it's not as bad. And I think the obvious reason is because he doesn't drive his car as much. Number 7, I really can't give you the best demonstration because I already fixed this problem on both of our cars, Rose and Sally. But the dash isn't always accurate. The temperature, the fuel, sometimes even the miles per hour is not accurate. And sometimes at night when you're driving, when you turn on the lights, the temp gauge will go up. So usually your temperature is probably lower than what that gauge is reading. Almost every Fox body seat is gonna have a lean, especially on the driver's side, because you know you're always doing your pulls or taking off hard and stuff. So these cars were made to have fun in, make no mistake about it. But those seats were not designed to take the G-force that we put in these seats. So just to give you an example of how the seats look, you can't really tell, but on this side, it's got a good lean. If your Fox body does not have a leaning seat, it's because you bought new seats. Number 9 is for the people that want to make their LXs look like a GT. So before you decide to say, oh, I'm gonna keep my LX molding and just buy the GT bumpers, you can screw up like that, and let me show you why. So let's say you decide you're gonna keep the molding. This is for LX, that's for GT. See how much more wider it is? If you're turning that car into a GT, you might want to just go all the way GT. All right, so number 10, this is something that is very critical to these Fox bodies, and honestly, a lot of cars and trucks with the small block Ford in it. If you have issues with your car idling or starting up or getting it to stay running or any of that stuff, and let's even go as far as to say that you replace things like idle air control, you replace the TP sensor, you put a new computer in, you know, all of this good stuff. Go under the hood and check all of your vacuum lines. And sometimes these cars can get so bad to the point where you think that motor is losing compression. But I'm not gonna say I've seen that in too many cases. Most of the time, the car is just hard to keep running, or it just idles very stupidly. But that's it, man. And honestly, there is a lot more. Now, does one of these things make you want to sell a Fox body? Maybe not, but all 10 of them, maybe. And honestly, I'm not speaking for myself. I know these cars have all these problems. I personally like these cars regardless, and you have to have a lot of patience to work on stuff like this. Anyways, man, you guys put in the comments what kind of problems you've seen happen with your Fox body or anybody else's Fox body. If you have any questions, put in the comments. And if you have any recommendations or want to see any more videos, then put some recommendations in the comments. All right, man, I appreciate you all for watching. Thank you. More content coming soon. Please subscribe.